Coming up on this edition of SBU TV News, police continue their search for escaped convict Ralph "Bucky" Phillips, and the SBU community continues to see changes on campus. Welcome to SBU TV News. I'm Kathleen Donnelly. Locals have been on the lookout for a fugitive in the Southern Tier. Our own Mark Buscaglia was in Fredonia Friday night with this developing story.
The search continues in Chautauqua County for escaped convict Ralph "Bucky" Phillips. Police say he is the prime suspect in the shootings of 2 New York State troopers. Both troopers were wounded.
Now one has died. 32-year-old Joseph Longobardo was shot in the leg last Thursday. His partner, 38-year-old Donald Baker Jr., remains in serious condition at Hammett Medical Center in Erie. Both troopers were conducting a search for one of America's most wanted criminals, Ralph Phillips.
There is a sense of purpose, and everyone will stay focused to do what they have to do. When they leave where they are and they're doing their job.
After having his leg amputated last Saturday, Longobardo died Sunday at ECMC in Buffalo. Tears were shed by state troopers last week. However, they remain focused on their mission.
It brought that whole unification even stronger than it had been before, that this has to come to an end.
State troopers set roadblocks on Route 60 near Fredonia last Friday. Troopers were also spotted at a hotel across the street from the St. Bonaventure campus. Hundreds of law enforcement officials are spread over this part of the state, and residents are concerned.
Our house is out in the country. We don't have neighbors right next to us at all, so we feel a little bit exposed out there. It's, you know, in my mind, the kind of house that a Bucky Phillips would try to target, because there's no neighbors to call for help or that kind of thing. Easy to sneak up on an isolated house. My daughter, she's 12, she's just starting 7th grade, and she's scared to be around the house.
With their children heading back to school this week, parents are playing it safe.
We've been keeping the car doors locked at night. We've been making sure, of course, the house is all locked up. We've got motion detectors. We've got a dog who barks at nearly everything.
If you have any information leading to Phillips, we ask that you contact your local police authorities. Funeral services for Joseph Longobardo have been scheduled for Monday. For SBU TV, I'm Mark Buscaglia.
So Mark, what's the latest on the Bucky situation?
Well, Kathleen, as of this morning, police say Phillips may be in the woods near the Pennsylvania and New York State border, so we'll have to wait and see.
Thank you, Mark. For a look at one state trooper's personal reaction to the Bucky Phillips ordeal, here's Kelly Eschberger.
The signs are all around us. Checkpoints, sirens, helicopters, sadness, and apprehension as the New York State Police Department prepares to bury one of their own and continues to search for the man they believe fatally shot Officer Joseph Longobardo.
There are only about 5,000 troopers in New York State, so a situation like this one brings about a variety of emotions for each one of them.
There's a feeling of a lot of hurt, a lot of, at the initial shooting, a lot of guys were angry, very. At the shock of a passing, first of all, everybody now all of a sudden has to come face to face with their own mortality of, am I next? So the guys are worried about that. Then there's the feeling of hurt for this is one of our own and his family, his child, his wife. And then comes the anger and frustration at the gentleman who did it.
The gentleman police believe to be responsible is 44-year-old Ralph "Bucky" Phillips.
For police across western New York and northern Pennsylvania, they'll continue to comb woods just like these ones until justice is served for Officer Longobardo and the other 2 wounded troopers. For SBU TV, I'm Kelly Eschberger.
Officer Joseph Longobardo will be laid to rest on Monday. He is survived by a wife and son.
Since last spring, Hickey Dining Hall and ShayLo went under major renovations to improve student life here on campus. SBU reporter Bridget Fraize has the story.
A renovated dining hall, updated dorms, and repaved sidewalks were a welcome sight for students and faculty returning to St. Bonaventure this fall.
We were just standing in there waiting for them to arrive, and as soon as they walked in, everybody walked in and went. They looked up, saw that gorgeous ceiling, looked around the room, their mouths opened, and it was like, that's the look you wanted to see.
Despite an enthusiastic reaction, some may be troubled by the lack of progress on a promised new coffee house.
And our goal was to be substantially complete by the 15th of August.
Now the campus community may have to wait until 2007 to see a complete Hickey dining hall.
It was that 90-day window you're asking that we started, May 15th and August 15th, and we knew that was our time frame, and whatever it took, we had to meet that schedule.
In addition to the Hickey and ShayLo updates, the university added brick-lined sidewalks to give the campus a more complete appearance.
They're trying to find what the students coming on campus are going to want and what they can do to try to accommodate them.
For SBU TV, I'm Bridget Fraize.
The price of parking permits has increased this year, and designated student lots have been moved further from the academic buildings. I talked to Vice President George Solan about the changes in the parking situation.
Not every year, but every second or third, sometimes fourth year, the passes go up a modest amount. And this was the year that, it's that simple, this was the year that it was scheduled to be increased.
According to Solan, the money from the price increase will be used for the upkeep of the roads and parking lots on campus. Solan also explained why certain student lots are now faculty staff.
We've had to move some of the spaces, both student and faculty spaces, to accommodate the construction. So on a very temporary basis, until the construction is completed for the science building, we've had to relocate some parking.
When construction ends, the parking problem will decrease and students will once again be allowed to park behind Murphy.
Changes have been made to the Reilly Cafe. Here are some student reactions to those changes.
I feel that they could be open a little longer. Like I had a class like at 5 o'clock and I couldn't eat. So then I went there at 7:15, the class was over and I missed dinner. I couldn't eat here.
Could be open a little bit longer. It's only open till like 7, I think. So.
On campus, I used to come here when I had night classes so I could come eat, and now it's only open till 8 o'clock, so there's no point.
I think that the RC should be open longer at night because a lot of people have practice and different class activities, and the RC isn't open for those of us that live off campus, so we're forced to go to the Hickey and spend more money than we would if we came here.
Never pay $9 to go eat that at the Hickey. I could go out to eat at a restaurant to go eat.
Yeah, well, like it sucks for people that don't have meal plans with the $9 fee. Going to the Hickey, it's pretty nice to come here and, you know, maybe get a chicken sandwich or a hamburger.
I wish that the hours were extended because there's not a lot of time for people to go and eat when they have other activities to get to.
Student opinions have been heard and those hours have been changed. The RC is now open on weekends until 8 p.m. The Rathskeller is closed, but crews are now working to get it open. Last March, students and faculty at St. Bonaventure planned a spring trip down south. And no, it wasn't a vacation to Cancun. They were leading a recovery effort in the areas hit by Hurricane Katrina. August 29th marked the first anniversary of the hurricane. It was one of the deadliest storms in U.S. history, killing hundreds and leaving thousands stranded. Finance professor Jim Mahar leads the Bona Responds program, and he explained the reality of life after returning from Mississippi.
I don't know if the music stopped, because it might have. I know absolutely all conversation in the car went dead, and to a person, everyone I've talked to afterwards has said they got absolute goose pimples, and it was just, oh my God, this is beyond words. It was, you look left, you look straight, you look right, there was nothing.
Junior Rob Cannon was one of hundreds of students who made his presence felt on this trip.
It was just amazing to see. I mean, some houses that we worked on needed just some flood damage, but some people, we needed to tear down their entire house and start from scratch.
The Bona Responds group was at Archbishop Walsh High School last week, painting and cleaning up the inside and outside of the building. Repairs were also made on the cracked ceiling inside the chapel. Students plan on returning to Mississippi for another trip later this year.
With enrollment down, the university's operating budget has been reduced approximately 25%. Vice President for Business and Finance Brenda Snow wrote in an email, "Wherever possible, decreases were implemented in proportion to fewer students." She wrote that most of the budget reductions were made due to open positions and staff and faculty turnover. Because of this, less money was needed for employee salaries and benefits. Snow wrote, "We have also provided for higher expenses in some areas like utilities, enrollment staffing, operating costs, and financial aid. The budget is approximately 70% funded by tuition and fees."
The Castle apartments are no longer considered college housing.
The apartments can be found a block away from West State Street, where the St. Bonaventure campus is located. They have been a popular spot for students to call home and a great place to find friends and fun. After being offered as student housing for the past few years, 4T Development Incorporated decided to no longer accept college students as tenants. Currently, many of the apartments are being renovated.
It's still upsetting that Castles is gone because it was a fun place to be with my friends.
The owners of the property declined to comment, but unfortunately for students, there are many other options when it comes to housing, whether they want to live on or off campus.
Former St. Bonaventure University President Dr. Robert Wickenheiser has sold his 6,000-volume collection of materials by 17th century English poet John Milton to the University of South Carolina for $1 million. William L. Richter, donor of funds for the Richter Center, gave $500,000 towards the $1 million purchase price. The books will be housed in the Richter Seminar Room, a special collections wing of the library at University of South Carolina. Wickenheiser began the extensive collection as a grad student at the University of Minnesota. Some of his highlights of the collection included the first illustrated edition of Paradise Lost and drawings by major artists.
Adoption is becoming more popular, and here at SBU, professors and staff are adopting from other countries. Maggie Delmore has the story.
She was adopted by Tom and Nicole Missel from China. Janie's Chinese name is Jianai, and she is 16 months old. The Missels received her last May on Mother's Day, and she's one of the most recent international adopted babies to come to the Bonaventure community. For the Missels, it has been one of the most rewarding experiences.
They said not to cry, so my heart was just pounding, and I saw them, they had this baby, and I was like, my mother was with us, and she said, "Oh, look at the little girl with the hair." And then when they called our name, then she was ours, so I tried not to cry, but it wasn't easy. Like, I would hold her, and then I would turn my head and cry a little bit.
In 2005, nearly 23,000 immigrant visas were issued to orphans coming to the United States. More than 7,000 were from China.
Here at St. Bonaventure University, many professors and staff are adopting. Many of those children are from international countries. International adoption is becoming more popular because some believe that the process is easier than domestic adoption.
We're told that it could take up to 5 years to adopt domestically. We were able to adopt internationally through this one organization, FANA, which is that's an orphanage in Bogota, Colombia, and they have a support group here in Western New York. And we were able to adopt from FANA in 9 months.
International adoption is not becoming more popular just because of the easier adoption process.
If you were to have your own child biologically, you wouldn't know if they're going to have a learning disability in math, so it was just more natural to me to not know anything and take the things as they came.
Knowing so much information beforehand was just wasn't for us, frankly, and just.
Some people decide to do international adoption because of the support and great experience others have had.
My wife and I spoke with Professor Bob Amico, and his story of adopting from Columbia was so positive that we decided to attend an informational meeting, and the opportunity arose then, and we decided to move forward with it.
St. Bonaventure community, or the Allegheny community just in general, everywhere we've gone, nothing but support. They've been very welcoming to Janie and very excited about her. So that's been great.
For SBU TV, I'm Maggie Delmore.
Several other faculty members have also adopted internationally. When we come back, Al Harris will join us with sports. Stay with us.
Sharing is all about having a sense of conviction that you have to offer others. And I got that life worth sharing from St. Bonaventure University. My name is Deb Henretta. I am a president at Procter & Gamble. St. Bonaventure gave me my dream. My dad went to St. Bonaventure. I went to St. Bonaventure. I'd love nothing more than for my daughter to experience the sense of community and the strong values that this university provides.
Welcome back. Al Harris joins us with sports. Al?
4 years ago, St. Bonaventure's athletic program was placed on probation, and a basketball scandal erupted, making national headlines. This summer, Bonaventure was officially released from probation. Colleen Hannon brings us the story.
On July 14th, St. Bonaventure's athletic program was officially off probation from the NCAA. St. Bonaventure President, Sister Margaret Carney, told the Buffalo News, July 14th feels like Emancipation Day. Trouble began for the Bonnies when former President Dr. Robert Wickenheiser had allowed junior college transfer Jamil Terrell to play when he only had a welding degree. The NCAA clearly states that you need an associate's degree, or its equivalent, to be eligible to play. Bonaventure was forced to forfeit games in which Terrell had played in, and Terrell's teammates chose not to play in the remaining 2 games of the season.
From the outset, we knew that there would be penalties that would limit us in terms of advancing the program as quickly as we would have liked. They limited the number of official visits that we were allowed to take, and several other things. But also out there is the stigma that you are under the watchful eye of the NCAA, and we're just excited that it's over.
Coach Anthony Solomon is looking forward to the upcoming season and his 4th year as head coach of the Bonnies.
We have more depth than we ever have before. We have more experience overall than we ever had before. And we have some newcomers that I think will do a great job of representing our university, as well as contributing in a big way and allowing us to be a successful basketball team this basketball season.
The reparations from the 2003 season were brutal, but brighter days are ahead. Now, off probation, the Bonnies are ready to bound into a new season.
That's been my goal from day one, to bring that level of excitement back to this university as a whole. And as we continue this march into better days, I'm going to continue to reach out to these students to make sure that we can pack that student section, because they all make a difference.
For SBU TV, I'm Colleen Hannon.
The men's basketball season begins on November 9th in Austin, Texas against Chicago State. St. Bonaventure University will dedicate its renovated baseball complex before the annual alumni game on Saturday, September 9th. It will be called Fred Hamler Park at McGraw-Jennings Field in tribute to Fred Hamler, a member of St. Bonaventure Athletics Hall of Fame. The $900,000 donation by Thomas Mara paved the way for a state-of-the-art sport turf, new 50-foot sunken dugouts, bullpens, and fencing around the facility. After several weeks of full contact practice, St. Bonaventure's rugby team will open the season Saturday the 9th at SUNY Albany. Senior captain Jeff Nogue said the team, nicknamed the Outlaws, is the best he's seen in 4 years. That wraps up This Week in Sports.
And that's all for SBU TV News. I'm Kathleen Donnelly.
And I'm Mark Buscaglia. For Al Harris and all of us here at SBU TV, thanks for joining us. We leave you now with a moment of silence for New York State Trooper Joseph Longobardo.